Hey everyone, this is Vignesh from Easy Way to Learn Medicine. So today we are going to see the final part of anatomy topic-wise explanation. So today we are going to see thoracic cavity, abdominal cavity, and reproductive organs. So this is the last part which has been repeatedly asking in a Croc 1 examination. So we'll start with the first question. The 35-year-old man has been delivered to a surgical ward with a suppurating wound in the neck anterior to the trachea, which is a pre-visceral space. If a surgical operation is performed urgently, there is a risk of infection spreading to where. So this is a repeated question we have been seeing in the Crow questions. So pre-visceral area anterior to the trachea. So anterior to the trachea, there is a thoracic cavity, there is an anterior mediastinum. We call it as pre-visceral space. So thoracic cavity, anterior mediastinum. Anterior to the trachea, there is a presence of pre-visceral space. There is a presence of thoracic cavity, there is a anterior mediastinum. So that can lead to the mediastinitis. Also, you can check other options why, which is not a correct option. For example, thoracic cavity, middle mediastinum, there is a visceral, we call it a visceral space. There is a presence of heart and vessels, and also retrovisceral space. There is a posterior mediastinum, and also the lateral space. There is a posterior mediastinum. Also, interaponeurotic substernal space. Just above the sternum, there is a presence of jugular notch. So we move on to second question. A patient undergoes right-sided pulmonectomy due to the lung cancer. So there is a due to lung cancer, they removed a part of a lung. Name the anatomical structure of a right lung radix. So they are asking what are the anatomical structure which is present in the right lung. That is a bronchus arterial vein. So likewise in the left lung there is a artery bronchus veins. So if there is a lung, the entry point of the lungs in the right lung, primarily it started with the bronchus, artery, and veins. In the left lung, primarily it starts with artery, after that bronchus, after that vein. So we move on to third question. A woman suffers from tonsillitis complicated with retropharyngeal abscess that is localized in a sputum retroviscerale. In this case, the suppurative process can spread to the patient is having tonsillitis complicated with the retropharyngeal abscess that is localized in the sputum retroviscerale. Retrovisceral space. The retrovisceral space related to the tonsil, which is present in a posterior mediastinum. Retrovisceral space. It's present in a posterior mediastinum. Also, you can see the another questions. Sputum intraponeuroticum suprasternale. Space just above the sternum consists of jugular notch. Mediastinum anterior previsceral space. We can also see in the previsceral space, that is the anterior mediastinum, thoracic cavity, previsceral space. Retrovisceral space, that is mediastinum, posterior mediastinum. An oncology department has been admitted a patient with a suspected pulmonary tumor. On examination, pathology localized within the lower lobe of the right lung was detected. How many bronchopulmonary segments are there in this lobe? So every lobe there is a segment. So in the lower lobe there is a presence of 5 segments. So I'm going to show you an image. So the lungs which have lobes, in the lobes there is a presence of segments. So in upper lobe there is a presence of 3 segments: apical, posterior, anterior, and middle lobe, lateral, medial. Lower lobe there is a posterior, medial basal, anterior basal, lateral basal, and posterior basal. Like that left lung. So in the left lung there is a presence of 2 lobes, upper lobe and lower lobe. In upper lobe there is a presence of 5 segments, lower lobe presence of 5 segments. When playing, a child received a hit to the presternal region. As a result of this trauma, an organ located behind the presternum was damaged. Name this organ. So directly hit behind the presternum. So in a child. So you can like visualize what is the organ which is presented downside of the sternum, presternum. So there is a presence of thymus in a sternal space anterior to the anterior superior mediastinum. The thymus, which is located in a retrosternal space in a anterior superior mediastinum. In the area of anterior superior mediastinum, in the retrosternal space, there is a presence of sternum, pre-sternal area. Sixth question. So same like in an inferior lobe of the left lung, there is a they mention lower lobe. What? How many bronchopulmonary segment? 5 segments. So this is a repeated question. So you can go through that image. How many segments? In the left lung, there is a upper lobe and middle lobe. 5 segment upper lobe, 5 segment lower lobe. In the right lung, there is a divider of upper, middle, and lower lobe. 3, 2, 5. After an X-ray examination of a tuberculosis clinical patient, he was diagnosed with tumor of the right lung. During the operation, surgeon removed the middle lobe of the patient of the right lung. This lobe include, so during the segment, the lobe, it contains a segments. The lobe, after that, every lobe has a segment. They removed the middle lobe. The middle lobe has segment laterally and segment medially in a right lung. Right lung, we have two segments, that is segment laterally and segment medially. Eighth question, when examination patient, doctor revealed a tumor of the bronchus which border on the aorta. Which bronchus is affected? So you can see in the image, left main bronchus. Below that there is a presence of aorta. Left main bronchus, we call it as left principal bronchus. So there is a presence of tumors which borders on aorta. Which behind the bronchus, there is a presence of aorta. Left principal bronchus. The passes inferior to arc of aorta and anterior to thoracic aorta, divided into two lobar bronchi. So you can see in the image, left principal bronchus, presence of left aorta and left bronchial arteries. So if we have to remove the tumor, we have to be very careful because the presence of aorta and the main bronchial arteries are presented beneath the bronchus, left principal bronchus or left main bronchus. An angiography of a 60-year-old man revealed constriction of a vessel located in the left coronary sulcus of the heart. Name this pathological vessel. So in my playlist there is a cardiology section. In that you can study what are the sulcus which present in the heart, what are the arteries which present in the heart. So in the left coronary sulcus there is a presence of ramus circumflex artery. It is present in a left coronary sulcus. It's a branch of left coronary artery. So you can check the other options. You can pause the video and read it why it's not. You can like remember how like correlate with the choices. 10th question, examination of the patient with ischemic heart disease revealed the impairment venous blood flow in the territory of a cardiac vein running in the anterior interventricular sulcus of the heart. Anterior interventricular sulcus of the heart. In this region, there is a vein called venous cordis magna, large cardiac vein. It's present in a anterior interventricular sulcus, which is drained into the coronary sinus. In above question, left coronary sulcus. In the left coronary sulcus, there is presence of ramus circumflex artery, which is a branch of left coronary artery. In the anterior interventricular sulcus, there is a presence of vein called venous cordis magna, large cardiac vein. 11th question, which child presented with the physical retardation and frequent pneumonias? The child was diagnosed with non-closure of a arterial canal. Hemodynamics disturbance in this case is caused by communication, the non-closure of a arterial canal, and the patient is repeatedly having a pneumonia. So what arterial canal? So that is ductus arteriosus, which connect pulmonary artery to the aorta and pulmonary trunk. So when there is non-disclosure of this connection, after birth it will close normally. When there is a disclosure of this main pulmonary artery to the aorta, we call it as ductus arteriosus. So ductus arteriosus in fetus, it connects a main pulmonary artery, pulmonary trunk, and a proximal part of a descending aorta. It allows blood from a right ventricle to bypass fetus blood, fluid filled non-functioning, because in child there is non-functioning of the lungs, so we have to bypass the uh, deoxygenated blood. So after birth, it closes and it remains a ligament arteriosum. So when there is a backflow, some amount of the blood fluids, black flow to the lungs. So when there is a backflow, the lungs get infected. So it causes pneumonia, frequent pneumonia. A patient has a disturbed blood supply to the anterior papillary muscles of a left ventricle. Anterior papillary muscles of a left ventricle. What cardiac artery supplies this muscle with blood? So anterior papillary muscles of the left ventricle. Anterior papillary of the left ventricle, which is supplied by a ramus interventriculus anterior, left anterior descending artery, which is a branch of a left coronary artery, supplies the anterolateral papillary muscle of the left ventricle. So you can go through the video, so you can know, there it is like a direct question. What is the supply of anterior papillary muscles of the left ventricle? That is a left anterior descending artery, in Latin, that is ramus interventricularis anterior. Second question. During a surgery of a femoral hernia, a surgeon operates within the boundaries of a femoral triangle. What structure make up its upper margin? That is inguinal ligament. So also I have uploaded a video on a femoral triangle. This is femoral triangle, which is very important for all the examination. You can see they asked 14, 15, 16. So in a you can get the what is the floor of a femoral triangle, what is the anterior border, what is the posterior border, what muscles which are present in this border, like that you can get the questions. So it is very important for MCI, it is very important for USMLE, it is very important for CROC. So they asked what is the upper order of the femoral triangle, that is inguinal ligament. So you can see upper border is a inguinal ligament from pubic tubercle to the anterior superior iliac vein, which is the upper border of femoral triangle, and inferior border of inguinal triangle. Upper border of femoral triangle and inferior border of inguinal triangle. So you can go through my video so you can understand better. So 14th questions. During surgery performed in abdominal cavity, a surgeon located ligament of the liver, which is stretching from anterior abdominal wall level to the inferior surface of the liver. That is a round ligament of liver, which is a remnant of umbilical vein which insert around umbilicus. So when there is a presence of umbilical cord, there is a umbilical vein. After baby born, that umbilical vein turn into the round ligament of the liver. So you can see other options with the falciparum ligament, another ligament. Why it's not a correct answer? A surgeon has to find a common hepatic duct during operative intervention for treatment of concrement in a gall duct. The common hepatic duct is located between the leaves. So where is a present of common hepatic duct? You can see in the image in the hepatoduodenal ligament. In the hepatoduodenal ligament, we have common bile duct. The common bile duct then divided into cystic duct, and then it is divided into hepatic duct. So we have in the hepatoduodenal ligament there is a common bile duct, portal vein, and then proper hepatic artery. That one, the common bile duct, then divided into cystic duct, which go to the gallbladder, and then hepatic duct, which go to the liver. So duodenal ligament from porta hepatica to the superior duodenum, which contain a common bile duct, proper hepatic artery, and portal vein. 16th question. During the operation of a small intestine, the surgeon built an area of a mucous membrane with a single longitudinal fold among the circular folds. Which portion of small intestine which is typical for? The direct question. You can see in the image, like in a duodenum there is a circular type of folds and a longitudinal type of folds, which is presented in a this specific longitudinal and circular folds, which is present in a pars densi duodenum, ascending part of a duodenum. Also in the duodenum you can see the bile duct which enter into the duodenum or the sphincter of Oddi, that is a ascending part of a duodenum. So you can see in a pars horizontal duodeni there is a longitudinal folds are absent, circular folds present. In ascending part only circular folds present, longitudinal folds are absent. So in 17th question, a surgeon examined a patient and found the injury of upper third of a kidney, considering the syntopy of the kidney. Like topographic analysis, the intacs of the fallen organ should be checked at the same level. So upper part of the left kidney. So in upper part of the left kidney, we have a stomach. Anterior to the upper third part of kidney, left kidney, we have a stomach. A surgeon has detected inflammation of a Meckel's diverticulum in a patient. During surgical intervention, Meckel diverticulum is present in a ileum, which is a remnant of a vitelline ducts or a yellow stalk as a slight bulge in a ileum. Vitelline duct connected yellow sac to the embryonic midgut, that is ileum, usually disappears in the 5th to 8th week gestation. In 2% of people fail to regress and in inversion to form a Meckel's diverticulum. So nickel diverticulum is important for MC and USMLE, which present in ileum. It disappears in 5th to 8th week of gestation. A man has an inguinal hernia. The hernial sacs exit to the following open. So you can see in the image, opening to the inguinal canal, which is a deep inguinal ring, exit to the inguinal, exit from the inguinal canal, that is a superficial inguinal ring. So opening the deep inguinal ring, exit superficial inguinal ring. So you can also go and check my video about inguinal canal and inguinal ring. So exit, which is superficial inguinal ring, annulus superficialis, canalus inguinalis. A, a woman was delivered to a gynecological unit with the signs of acute abdomen and suspected extrauterine pregnancy with oviduct rupture. Where will the blood accumulate in this case? So when in the gynecology, when there is any type of extrauterine pregnancy or any type of rupture, the blood will collect it into the Douglas pouch, which is a retrouterine pouch. You can Google it and you can see the image. It is like extension of a peritoneum between rectum and uterus in male. So in that pouch, there will be accumulation of blood. Likewise, in a male, you can see rectovesical pouch. There is an extension of peritoneum between rectum and urinary bladder in male. There is a in male. In female, extension of peritoneum between rectum and uterus. Douglas pouch or a rectouterine pouch. In a male, rectovesical pouch. 21. So same question. Extrauterine pregnancy is oviduct rupture. Douglas pouch. A 40-year-old patient has ulcer perforation in the posterior wall of a stomach. The behind. What anatomical structure will blood and stomach content lead to? That is omentum. So brusa omentalis. That is a lesser sac when there is a perforation in the posterior wall. So the content will leak into the behind side. Lesser sac. And this is anterior wall, that is a greater sac. Brusa pregastica. In the course of invasive abdominal surgery, a surgeon has to locate the origin of a mesenteric root where it is normally localized. So origin of mesenteric root, which is a duodenojejunal flexure. This is junction between duodenum and jejunum. That is the origin place of a mesenteric root. Duodenojejunal flexure. 34th question, like upper margin of a femoral triangle, that is inguinal ligament. So a woman with a dense area in her mammillary gland has come to the surgeon with minimize the trauma to the mammillary gland lobule. Doing the operation, surgeon to make the incision. So to remove the gland lobule, so we have to make the radical incision radially. We have to radical incision. Doctor make most radical incision during mammillary gland surgery. What particular of anatomical organization makes such surgical technique preferable? Because it like the lobe abaxis converge toward nipple. So when you make it like nipple, so we have to make under the nipple. Lobe abaxis converges toward the nipple. So we have to make the radical incision downside of a nipple. A patient has been hospitalized for a suspected tumor of a prostate. During the surgery, it was revealed that the tumor invaded the bladder. Which part of the tumor was affected? So when the tumor, there is a presence of tumor of a prostate which invades the bladder. So in which part it is affected? Which is cervic part, neck of a bladder. The neck of a bladder, that is urgent, like It's related to the prostate gland in male, adjacent to the prostate gland in males, continuous urethra. Like the nearest structure, that is a cervix, neck of a bladder. So thanks for watching. This is a final part of a anatomy video. We'll continue with physiology or any other subject. So thanks for watching. Thank you.